Luxury Brand Marketing Fails. Hey there, welcome back to our channel. Today, we peek behind the curtain of luxury brands and their significant marketing missteps. Oh, the Schadenfreude. Grab your coffee. Let's jump right into it. United colors of Benetton, no girls allowed. First up, we're jetting off to Italy, home of fantastic food, passionate people, and Benetton, yes, that Benetton. Known for their vibrant knitwear and provocative advertising, they've always pushed the boundaries. But in the world of social media, sometimes a push is a shove too far. It seems someone in their marketing department had a bit of a brainstorm, or perhaps a brain fog, when they decided to post an image on Instagram with the caption, "No girls allowed." Now, you can imagine the internet collectively spitting out their espresso at that one. Known for their inclusivity message, this post felt like a betrayal to many. The backlash was swift and brutal, with many calling for boycotts and expressing their disappointment. Benetton was quick to remove the post and issue an apology, claiming it was meant to be ironic, but the damage was done. Dolce and Gabbana, fat, stupid, and what were they thinking? Now, darling, we all know that fashion can be a bit, shall we say, dramatic. But even by those standards, Dolce and Gabbana took the biscuit with this next one. Stefano Gabbana, one half of the iconic Italian duo, decided to have a little tete-a-tete with his followers on Instagram. Now you'd think a man who dresses the likes of Madonna would have a bit more tact, wouldn't you? Well, think again. When some followers dared to criticize the brand's designs, Gabbana responded with all the grace of a charging bull. Fat and stupid, he declared, adding a few choice expletives for good measure. The internet, understandably, went into meltdown. Calls for boycotts echoed from Milan to Manhattan, with celebrities and civilians alike expressing their disgust. Gabbana, of course, tried to pass it off as a misunderstanding, blaming hackers for the offensive comments. But the damage was done. Z palette. Overpriced and under fire. Let's be honest, we've all been tempted by a luxurious makeup palette or two. But when does luxury tip over into absurdity? Z Palette, a brand specializing in customizable magnetic palettes, found out the hard way. Now these palettes are handy, I'll grant you, but when they released a limited edition version priced at a whopping $299, eyebrows were raised. To put that into perspective, you could buy a designer handbag for that price. Makeup artists and beauty bloggers, the darlings of the online beauty world, were quick to point out the price discrepancy. But instead of taking the feedback on board, Z Palette decided to double down. They responded to the criticism with a series of snarky comments, essentially telling their customers to get a real job if they couldn't afford it. Oh dear, talk about biting the hand that feeds you. The backlash was swift and merciless. Z Palette eventually issued an apology, but the damage was done. Chapter 4. Jenner Sisters, Fashion Faux Pas. Now, the Kardashian-Jenner clan are no strangers to controversy, but even by their standards, this next one was a doozy. Kendall and Kylie Jenner, the younger siblings of the reality TV dynasty, decided to launch their own clothing line. Sounds harmless enough, right? Well, their idea of vintage fashion landed them in hot water. They released a line of t-shirts featuring images of iconic musicians like Tupac Shakur and the Notorious Big, with their own faces superimposed over them. The internet erupted in fury, accusing the sisters of disrespecting musical legends for profit. Faced with mounting criticism, the Jenner sisters were forced to issue a groveling apology and pull the t-shirts from their line. It's a valuable lesson in understanding cultural sensitivity and the importance of research before launching a product. Chapter 5. Saint Laurent, International Women's Day Fail. International Women's Day, a day to celebrate the achievements of women and advocate for gender equality. A time for empowerment, inspiration, and, suggestive advertising? Well, that's what Saint Laurent, the French fashion house, seemed to think. Just days before this important day, they decided to launch a new ad campaign featuring a model in a suggestive pose, clad in fishnet tights and roller skates. It was seen by many as tone-deaf and exploitative, using a day meant to celebrate women's achievements to sell clothes. Social media lit up with criticism, with many accusing Saint Laurent of objectifying women and missing the point of International Women's Day entirely. The brand was forced to pull the ads and issue an apology, but the damage was done. Chapter 6. Dior Saddle Sore. Dior, synonymous with elegance, sophistication, and Influencer marketing gone wrong? It seems even the most iconic brands can stumble in the ever-changing world of social media. Back in 2018, Dior decided to relaunch their iconic saddlebag. Remember those? Carrie Bradshaw practically lived in one in Sex and the City. Anyway, to promote this blast from the past, Dior sent the bag to a whole host of influencers, hoping to create a social media frenzy. And a frenzy they created, but not quite the one they were hoping for. You see, Dior neglected to disclose that these influencers were being paid to promote the bag. Followers felt misled, accusing Dior of being disingenuous and using sneaky tactics to push their product. Dior, of course, learned a valuable lesson about the importance of transparency and the power of an informed consumer. Chapter 7. Now, we all know that luxury car brands like to portray an image of success, aspiration, and, let's be honest, a bit of "I've made it." But Audi's attempt to tap into the entrepreneurial spirit backfired spectacularly. They launched a campaign with the hashtag #PaidMyDues, hoping to connect with self-made individuals who had worked hard to achieve their dreams. Sounds good on paper, right? Well, the problem was the campaign felt a bit, shall we say, out of touch. Many people pointed out that driving a luxury car like an Audi is a privilege not accessible to everyone, especially those just starting out in their careers. The hashtag was quickly hijacked by people sharing stories of their struggles, from crippling student loan debt to working multiple jobs just to make ends meet. Audi, faced with a barrage of criticism, quickly pulled the campaign. Chapter 8. Saint Laurent Instagram Wipeout. The world of high fashion is known for its dramatic flair, but Saint Laurent took it to a whole new level with this next one. In a move that can only be described as a digital hissy fit, they decided to delete their entire Instagram feed. Now I've seen toddlers throw tantrums with less drama than this. It all went down when Anthony Vaccarello took over as creative director from Hedi Slimane. Vaccarello, eager to make his mark, decided the best way to usher in a new era was to wipe the slate clean, digitally speaking. So, with a click of a button, years of content vanished into the ether. Followers were left bewildered, wondering if they'd accidentally unfollowed the brand or if their phones were playing tricks on them. Some applauded the brand for its daring and innovative approach, while others criticized it as being arrogant and out of touch. One thing's for sure, it was a masterclass in how to create a social media storm. Chapter 9. Chanel, Lost in the Algorithm. Chanel, the epitome of French chic and timeless elegance, seems to have missed the memo when it comes to online engagement. In the digital age, where content is king and creativity reigns supreme, Chanel's online presence has been described as, dare I say it, a tad lackluster. Their social media feeds, once the envy of the fashion world, have become predictable, repetitive, and whisper it, a little bit boring. It seems they've fallen into the trap of playing it safe, churning out the same tired content that does little to excite or engage their audience. Where's the innovation? Where's the spark? Where's the je ne sais quoi that made Chanel the icon it is today? The internet, being the fickle beast it is, has noticed. Followers have voiced their disappointment, with many calling for the brand to step up its game and inject some much-needed personality into its online presence. It's a reminder that even the most established brands can't afford to rest on their laurels in the digital age. Chapter 10. Balenciaga, Disturbing Designs. Now, fashion is often seen as a form of art, pushing boundaries and challenging conventions. But Balenciaga's recent ad campaigns have left many people feeling, shall we say, a little bit disturbed. Their spring 2019 and summer 2020 campaigns in particular sparked outrage and disgust for their unsettling imagery. One campaign featured models with vacant stares, dressed in clothes that seemed to swallow them whole. Another showed children holding teddy bears dressed in bondage gear. Now, I'm all for a bit of edgy fashion, but this was something else entirely. It felt exploitative, inappropriate, and downright creepy. The internet, understandably, went into meltdown. Parents, celebrities, and even politicians condemned the campaigns, accusing Balenciaga of normalizing child exploitation and sexualizing children. Balenciaga was forced to issue a groveling apology, claiming they had no intention of causing offense. Outro luxury lessons learned? Well, there you have it. A cautionary tale of luxury brands gone rogue. These marketing spills remind us that even big names can slip up, especially in the ever-evolving world of social media. Navigating campaigns with care and sensitivity is crucial in this era of vocal consumers. Thanks for joining us today. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more deep dives into the world of luxury brands.